There are a ton of different type of consumers. What you'll find is you've got your consumers that are looking for those traditional kosher foods. You want kugel, they want kishka. They're looking for, it sounds crazy, they'll want simis, they want herring. But today they're not living all in Williamsburg or in Borough Park or in Lakewood, where you have 6 different places and you can go find. What's changing in the market is the availability of so many of those traditional items, and almost the best of breed of all of them available at a local supermarket. So you can get, the buyer goes and finds, oh, this is a good kugel, so he's going to get it in a ShopRite. And you can go to an Acme, and you can go say, oh, I can go get the original herring from Williamsburg that my grandparents used to shop in that store. They now put it in a convenient modern package. It gives it shelf life, and it's no longer a piece of fish that's wrapped up in paper and taken home in a little bag. And that's a lot of what's changing in the more traditional aspect of the market. What you're finding is those traditional things are still there and loud, but where people are shopping and their ability to shop there. Most kosher stores, most of the independent supermarkets aren't open at 1 in the morning. Yet with dual income families, people are working all the time and getting the kids done. Sometimes you got to shop at midnight, and that's when your ShopRite is open, or your Publix is open, or your Wegmans is open. And those stores are being able to service that consumer in a very different way than they did 5, 10, or certainly 20 years ago. So that's the beginning of where a lot of this change is coming. At the same time, people want flavors, people want food that the general market's getting. Sushi is clearly something that's over the last 5 years, 10 years, certainly, out of the blue. It's only funny because one of the first, ethnic foods that really became a big deal for Jews and in kosher was Chinese food. Yet for some reason, Jews couldn't get their head around, it wasn't even big in the United States, but Jews couldn't get their head around eating raw fish. They couldn't get their head around eating rice. Somehow, the whole market here took it by storm, and slowly people said, wait a minute, we're going to try this. And then you tell someone, something, pickled fish isn't that different than raw fish, and we've been eating herring for about 1,000 years. So all of a sudden, you turn it around, and people go, this isn't so bad. It's a nice snack, it's healthy, it's easy to do kosher without compromising the flavor. And when you're talking about the kosher market, maybe a little different than the Jewish market, that is one big strength. What type of ethnic food can you make kosher without really compromising what it is? And that's why Chinese food was one of the first kosher foods, because all you had to do was make a dish with beef or with chicken without using pork or using seafood. So you can have a traditional Chinese chicken dish, and it doesn't any different as long as the ingredients are kosher and the chicken was kosher. The same is true when it comes to sushi. You just don't have the crab, or you use imitation crab. You don't have the shrimp sushi. But traditional yellowtail and traditional tuna and salmon is something that is very common everyday non-kosher and is easily replicated in a kosher environment. So it's those things that make it simple.